Viewers and subscribers, welcome back to Beating the Press podcast. I am your host, Rafa. Now, coming up in today's podcast, we're going to be looking at the Euros. We're going to be looking at the groups in that Euros and who we think will be qualifying from each group. And of course, the big game coming up on Friday, the opening match of the Euros. Germany takes on Scotland. We'll also be previewing that game. Now, joining me to dissect these European groups. Returning to the podcast, we have Christoph.
Good to be back, viewers.
Yes, indeed, Christoph. The Euros kick off on Friday, and the groups are bubbling. Germany and Scotland are the first teams in action. But before we get there, Christoph, we want to look at each group and make our predictions as to which two teams we think will qualify from each group. So take us through these groups now, Christoph. Group A, who do we have in that group along with Germany and Scotland?
Well, with Germany and Scotland, we have Hungary and we have Switzerland.
Hungary, Switzerland. What's your take? Who do you think will qualify from that one?
From that group, at the moment, I feel top spot is kind of up for grabs. I think it's definitely between Germany and Switzerland. So those two will be going through, but I don't know who will top the group at the moment. I think Switzerland has the potential to mix it up. They've been very good last few World Cups and Euros, and with key players like Granit Xhaka in form and buzzing, and we saw him winning the Bundesliga undefeated. So I believe they have the potential to top that group.
Yeah, this is a tight group for me, to be honest, Christoph. I mean, Germany is the host team, so I definitely expect Germany to qualify. However, that second team to go through with Germany, I think that one for me is up for grabs. My thinking is leaning towards Hungary. Hungary has been one of those surprise packages, in all honesty. They topped their European group in qualifying. And Switzerland, to me, over the last couple of world tournaments and Euros, have been punching above their weight. And I think they may very well run out of steam in this year's edition of the Euros, Christoph. I mean, yes, Shaka, excellent season over there in Bayer Leverkusen. We also have the likes of a Shaqiri playing his straight over there in the MLS now. And of course, those are two of the big names that we are familiar with in terms of Switzerland. They do have some youngsters coming through as well, like Embolo, for example. But to me, Hungary, led by Sobasai, Christoph, that Liverpool midfielder, he has everything. He's their captain, he's their leader, he's their set piece taker and the engine of their midfield. And I think they're a very physical team. And I do believe they are one of the teams to watch for this competition. So for me, though, Christoph, Group A, I'm thinking Germany to top and Hungary to finish second in that group.
And I'm saying Germany, Switzerland. I don't know who will top the group. I expect it will be Germany, but Switzerland have that very good potential to top that group.
All right. What says Group B?
Well, Group B to me kind of seems like the group of death. We have Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania in that group. I mean, I think we can probably expect Albania will be bottom of the group,
Yeah,
potentially.
definitely should be the beaten stick. All three of those teams should take points off Albania.
Indeed, all three could take points. I am leaning towards Spain, Italy. I mean, we know Croatia is very strong with Luka Modric and Kovacic in that midfield, and we have players like Perisic. For me, I think those players are just getting very old right now. I don't know if they still have the legs. I'm still expecting a lot from them, but I do feel like it's Spain, Germany with their refreshed teams that will go through.
Oh, you mean Spain, Italy?
Sorry, Spain, Italy, I believe will go through. I think
Yeah, I mean,
Spain
you
top
do
the group.
remember, yeah, I mean, Italy, remember, is also defending champion. So they
Right.
come into these Euros as defending champions. Spain, to me, Christoph, though, is a very young team. Lots of young blood. And they could approach this one in a fearless manner. Uh, they are almost the opposite of Croatia. Croatia is the tried, tested, proven, experienced players, bags of experience like of a Modric, Perisic, Garviol, out of Man City right there. Kovacic in that midfield as well. And they have a lot of experience in that team. Kramaric, Perisic, these are players who have been there, done that. They surpassed all expectation in the World Cup, for example, and they have been knocking it about in this generation of stars. And this could obviously be Madrid's final Euros, in all honesty. So he definitely will be motivated for this one. Spain, young, youthful exuberance. Rodri, the old head there in the midfield, but you know, are surrounded by a number of youngsters. Yamal, you know, a number of youngsters coming through. Pedri, you know, and of course, you have the experience of a Morata up front who should be leading the line. A proven goal scorer. Last
Morata.
Euro, oh yeah, last Euros he got 3 goals in that
I,
tournament,
I
and
don't think you can depend on Morata to lead your line. I'm not saying that he won't get goals,
and
but
he has had a good season over there for Atletico Madrid as well. So
I wouldn't depend on Morata to lead the line or
Italy
to be
and
a game winner.
yeah, Italy defending champions. A number of their players have underperformed this season, though, Christoph. The likes of Chiesa out of Juventus has really underwhelmed. However, they do have some bright spots, especially from the Tottenham team. We have Udogi, that bombarding right back there from Spurs, and of course Vicario, who is the Spurs goalkeeper as well. They are in this Italy squad and should be looking to start in this one. This is a tight group, as you say, Christoph. It's the group of death for sure. Albania out. It's a toss-up between these three other teams. But for me, Christoph, I'm gonna go with an upset in this one. I think Spain will be the team eliminated. That youth will not do them well in a tournament which requires experience. So for me, it's the old heads of Italy that will go through, and
With
Spain
Croatia.
with Croatia eliminating Spain and Albania. That's my call. Croatia, Italy.
Um, I mean that's fair. I do definitely think Croatia have a lot. They did far better than I expected last World Cup. I mean, given that they were runner-ups the previous World Cup, they did better than I expected. Given all the players, a lot of players retired and so on. But I don't know. I feel like it's Spain, Italy for me for this one.
In Italy. All right, no problem. Group C, lead us on.
Group C we have Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, and England. This kind of
Ah,
let's see. This is
Yeah,
potentially the
to
easiest
me,
group.
this one is a bit straightforward. I'm looking at Serbia and England. England should top the group, and to me, Serbia coming in second. Denmark have been punching above their weight in recent competitions. In all honesty, they do have a rich history and a rich pedigree of overperforming in Euros and even in the World Cup. But I think the quality of a Serbia, Christoph, with this new generation of players coming through, former Yugoslavia, then split into Croatia, and then Croatia split apart with Serbia. So there's a lot of geopolitics when it comes to these former USSR territories. And Serbia is one of those teams which have evolved through that geopolitics and the constant redefinition of territorial borders. So for me, though, I think the quality which is in the Serbia team should come to the fore, and they should go along with England. So for me, England, Serbia out of this group. What says you?
Uh, I definitely think England should top this group. I don't know how easy it will be for them. We've seen them play lesser teams and sometimes struggle, but again they should top the group. As for second place, I am not sure. I mean, Serbia does look impressive, Milinkovic, Savic. But Denmark, as you said, punching above their weight in recent tournaments. I feel like that trend continues for them. I think it will be England, Denmark.
I can't doubt that pick. In all honesty, I can't doubt that big but pick, but definitely for me, Serbia, Tadic, as you said, Milinkovic, Savic, and a few other top performing players, you know. And for me, I'm just gonna stick with my guns. Of course, England, the quality in the English team speaks for itself. You know, number of players, potential Ballon d'Or winner in the likes of a Jude Bellingham, top scorer over there in the Bundesliga, Harry Kane, uh, playmaker in the EPL, Watkins, player of the season in the EPL, Foden. You know, so this team is beaming with quality players, Christoph, and it would be a big shock if this England team did not go deep into this competition. But alas, they are missing that killer instinct, that winning mentality, that pedigree that they need to bring them to that trophy. So while I expect them to circumnavigate this group quite easily, I just don't believe they have the mental fortitude in order to go the full distance. But in terms of qualifying from this group, sticking to my guns on this one, Christoph, England, Serbia,
England, Denmark.
England, Denmark. Group D.
Over in Group D, we have Netherlands, we have France, we have Poland, and we have Austria.
Firm favorite France. Firm favorite. They enter this tournament second in terms of the bookies odds, Christoph. Can you believe it? England is the favorites for this tournament above France, above Portugal. But in terms of this group, France is an easy call, and I think Holland, Netherlands will go through with them. So for me, France led by Mbappe, and of course Netherlands, Van Dijk is there. But the pedigree of this Dutch team, the attacking instincts, the likes of a Gagpo, Gravenbach, the stalwart defense of the likes of a Ake and a Van Dijk, I think they have enough quality that should enable them to exit this group either first or second. But I expect them to go through second behind France.
Indeed, I think Netherlands is team is looking as impressive as can be compared to, their last, what I would say, very impressive team, that 2010 World Cup squad that had the likes of Van Persie, Huntelaar, Robin, Wesley Sneijder. That team was very much stacked. And Netherlands is starting to look stacked again. Specifically, that defense looks very strong, and we know they have a number of attacking players, Cody Gakpo and so on, that look to impress, had a decent season with Liverpool. I do think they have
Definitely.
the potential to top this group, to be honest.
Yeah, however, I was reading today, however, Christoph, that Frankie de Jong is now ruled out injured and he will not take part in this tournament. So that's a big miss in the midfield. But I do believe they have enough quality coverage to make up for his absence. But yeah, just to show that in the mix, Frankie de Jong out of this Euros due to injuries.
Interesting. Um, yeah, I think they have sufficient cover at the moment. So for me, I'm going to go with France first, Netherlands second. Poland potential as the potential to
Upsetter.
maybe get an upset, but they did not perform very well during the World Cup. So I'll definitely go with France, Netherlands. I'm not aware of any particularly impressive Polish players at the moment. I mean, even Lewandowski
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're
had
missing out on the big man,
uh,
Lewandowski. He
Le
is their
Lewand
talisman.
Lewandowski had a very subpar season with Barcelona, I would say.
Yeah, the
For
supply may
me,
be lacking for him in this Polish team as well. Possibly set play may be their best option to goal. In a
I
tournament setting, of course.
I think the saving grace for Poland potentially is going to be Wojciech Szczesny. So we'll see how he performs. He has been tremendous for Juventus over the years. So we'll see how that continues in this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. If Poland has any chance, then the defense have to come good and they try to squeeze out a 1-0 here, a 2-0 there. But defensively, that is their strength. And as I said, you always have that game winner up front, Lewandowski. Sometimes all it takes is one chance. And if they can take a one chance and then lock shop at the back, then possibly they could be an upsetter in this group. But for me, I'm sticking to my guns. France and Netherlands.
So we move on to Group E. Group E has Ukraine, Slovakia, Serbia, sorry, not Serbia, Belgium, and Romania.
Mm.
Um, a bit of an
I'll give you the
interesting group.
first bite of this one, Christoph.
I
Let me hear your thoughts first.
I think this group is tougher than it might first appear. I mean, people would probably say Belgium, Ukraine, but I would say teams like Slovakia and Romania probably don't have anything to lose and will be playing with a freedom that Belgium and Ukraine might be somewhat reluctant to play with. So I think it's a difficult group. I think I would go with Belgium. They have a number of attacking players, and this current Belgium squad seems like one built on merit and not just, a team of names as we saw in the World Cup with, somebody like Eden Hazard starting for World Cup when Eden Hazard, not to say Hazard was a great player, but leading up to the World Cup, he had done nothing for a number of years. So starting that World Cup was shocking for me. But we see a number of players who have performed well over the last few years, making the squad. We see, for example, a Trossard who has been instrumental last 2, 3 seasons. We see Kevin De Bruyne back in the side. I think notable absence for them is Thibaut Courtois. Uh, I think maybe
Yes.
potential potentially they might rule that one, but who to
Well, as
tell?
you say, it's a team based on merit, and Courtois is really just coming back from injury. He has barely featured in 3 or 4 games. So if you're
Definitely.
definitely sticking to your guns when you say merit, then that pick or lack thereof is a clear indication of the ruthless nature of this coach who is picking players, as you say, on merit, on performances, and not just name or what they have done in the past.
Past
So
glories.
yeah, so Belgium for sure for me definitely, and I'm gonna go with Ukraine as well. I'm gonna go with that two pick to progress to the next round. Of course, these games I believe will be tightly fought games. I really don't expect any real high scoring games in this group. But as mentioned, I think out of the 4 teams, Belgium do have the offensive quality
All
or
right. They
firepower, which is
They do
superior to
have a
all other
number
trees
of they
teams.
do have a number of superb attacking players this
Look,
season.
and
Jeremy
remember,
Doku,
Lukaku is also there. Also,
Luka,
don't
yeah,
forget
well,
Lukaku. I
look,
think he could possibly be a standout in this tournament, Christoph. And this Belgium team may go as far as Lukaku brings them.
well, I'm not going to say it's Lukaku alone because we will be having Kevin De Bruyne. I believe will be a starter. Lukaku will be a starter. I think Jeremy Doku is likely to start. I think Trossard is likely to start. And these are a number of players who are very good goal scoring and creative wise. I think for Belgium is I don't know their defense very well at the moment. So I'm not sure how that
Yeah, the
plays.
defense is a bit weak in all honesty when you look at the likes of a Fast, who plays for Leicester, previously relegated with Leicester. Leicester is now back in the EPL. He is one of their kingpins in the heart of their defense. So it does beg a few questions as to how strong this defensive unit is, and that could possibly be their Achilles heel. It's a good build team of, it's a mixture of youth and experience, some tried and tested and proven players, and also some young players coming through to the national team. So there's a good blend of youth and experience, but the defense is where I have my doubts. And hence, while I do expect them to progress to this group, through to this, the next round, I don't expect them to go much further in the tournament than possibly
Round of
the
16.
round of 16 or the quarterfinals at best. Oh yeah.
All right. So you are going with you said Belgium, Ukraine, and I'm the same
Belgium,
thing.
Ukraine,
I
definitely.
mean, definitely you Belgium, definitely. I say Ukraine, but really and truly, I think Slovakia and Romania have the potential to create some upsets. Not necessarily against Belgium, but no, definitely I think Ukraine will find those games very difficult.
Well, if memory serves me right as well, there's a spot for the 2 best third place finishers also. So a team finishing third could potentially go through to the next round as well. because
Oh,
I do believe there might be a slot for the best the best two third place finishers.
I was not aware. This is a new format, Euros.
No, this is so because it's what? Four groups, right? How many groups are there?
Six groups, I believe.
Six groups. So if you take two, right? So exactly, if you take two from each group, you
Yeah,
get
you still have two slots left. Yeah.
exactly. So I do believe that may very well be the situation. So possibly one of these teams could go through.
Oh, yeah. So we could discuss who gets those two spots. All right. Final group is Group F. We will have Portugal, Czech, Georgia, and Turkey.
Well, this one is a no-brainer there. Georgia should be the beaten stick. I think possibly it's one of their first Euros they may very well be qualifying for, if memory serves me correct. I'm not 100% sure, but really, they don't really have a rich history or pedigree in Europe, so they should be the beaten stick of this group. Portugal, Christoph, is a firm favorite in my mind, a possible winner in all honesty. And I would be very shocked if this team did not make it to the semifinals. So for me, this is clear cut. Portugal to top that group quite easily, possibly without losing any of their game, maximum points. As to who go with them, that is where the question lies. But it should be a toss-up between Czech Republic and Turkey. And for me, I am gonna go with the team in the East. The link between Europe and Asia, Christoph. And I'm going to go with Turkey. So for me, it's going to be Portugal to finish top and Turkey coming in behind them. Turkey has a number of players playing their trade over there in Italy, in fact, and I believe they have enough quality, enough pedigree, enough experience to take them to the next round.
Hard to argue with Portugal. I do believe they potentially have probably one of the most well-balanced teams in terms of attacking quality, the midfield, and the defense. I think they're a very well-balanced team. And this is a group where Ronaldo could hit his form, and we could be seeing him a very high-scoring group for Portugal. Um, as for second place, I I don't know. Georgia, definitely not Georgia. Georgia will be bottom of the group. I am unfamiliar with this current Czech team, so I'm going to go with Portugal, Turkey at the moment.
Well, sometimes the unknown may be the most dangerous team in the group, Christoph. I mean,
Definitely,
again,
but
this is one of those other teams, as I mentioned earlier, the geopolitics in terms of the changing of geographical borders. But if you would recall, this is a former Yugoslavia team. And if you know your history when it comes down to European football and world football, Yugoslavia back in the day was one of the juggernauts of the European game and also of the world game. And that team, Yugoslavia, split off into the Czech Republic. They split off into Serbia. They split off into Croatia. Croatia got the better of the players because they are the bigger of those current nations. But the quality did spread throughout the entire country. So there is quality in this Czech Republic team as well. So I would not necessarily count them out. It could be a tight group, in fact, but for me, I'm just gonna go with the Turks. And of course, you mentioned the quality which runs through this Portugal team is really unprecedented when you look at their attack in the likes of a Ronaldo, a Jota. When you look at the midfield, Bruno Fernandes was one of the top assist man and top goal scorer when it came on to the European qualifiers. And of course, in the heart of their defense, they have a wealth of quality there as well, led by Diaz, the Manchester United centre back. So they have all the qualities, all the pedigree. And of course, on the bench, it's the former Belgium coach, which has taken over the reins at Portugal. Martinez, Christoph, former coach of Everton, former coach of Belgium. Some would say that he dropped the ball with that golden generation of that Belgium team and should have collected some silverware here. Here he is now gifted with a golden generation of Portuguese. Can they go the extra step, Christoph? Can they lift the European title? Can Ronaldo continue his rival with Messi? Is the question.
Well, if you recall, Ronaldo has already won a Euros a number of years ago.
Well, I mean,
Um,
when I say continue that rivalry, I mean, do recall or do remember that Argentina is participating over there in the Copa America as well. So it's almost as if these two competitions are running simultaneously in different parts of the world. The Copa America taking place in the USA, and of course the Euros taking place over there in Germany. But for me, for this group though, Christoph, it's definitely Portugal and it's definitely Turkey for me. And you're saying you're calling those two teams as well?
yeah, I think it's Portugal and Turkey.
Ah, well, those are the groups, and of course, viewers and subscribers. I believe the two top third place teams should also get a spot in the second round also. But Christoph, the big match which is coming up, the game which starts it all, is that big match coming up between Germany and Scotland. This game taking place on Friday to kick the Euros off, and of course, it will be, what should I say? It's gonna be a carnival of football on the weekend with a number of other teams participating on Saturday and Sunday. So in terms of football, we should be well entertained during the weekend. But attention right now, Christoph, is Germany versus Scotland. I mean, breaking this one down for us, how do you see this game playing out?
Well, on paper, there should be no other winner than Germany. Julian Nagelsmann has really revitalized this German team and rebuilt them. We see players like Cruz having their very last Euros, retiring after this. So it could be a driving factor for him to perform well. We saw where he just won the Champions League with Real Madrid. He might want to go out on a double high. But this Germany team, Cruz, Manuel Neuer, we saw where Serge Gnabry was dropped. I thought he's been very good, but it looks like it's a team again picked very much on merit. Kai Havertz, I don't know if he'll start up front, where
Oh
he'll
yeah,
play.
definitely, definitely. That man is red hot right now. First name on the team sheet.
I
Ah,
think the first name is probably still Manuel Neuer at the moment.
in fact, Christoph, if I was to be selecting this team on merit, Neuer would not be my goalkeeper.
I agree, Neuer wouldn't
Neuer
be the
cannot be
goalkeeper,
my
but
goalkeeper in this tournament with such high-profile errors in a number of key friendlies coming up. Ter Stegen is the man between the sticks for me if I was picking this team on merit. So Neuer, coming off injury, has not been the same. Not only for Bayern Munich, but also for this German team. So for me, Christoph Neuer bench this first game. Ter Stegen is the man between the sticks. Havertz, of course, leading the line, and of course, in the defense, it should be appearing of Rudiger and possibly Schucklenberg from that Dortmund team. So, and of course, in the midfield, Cruz, Musiala, that man is a must on this German team.
I think Musiala is probably going to be starting out wide. I don't think he'll play
No,
centrally.
I would play Musiala in that number 10 role with a
You
double pivot of possibly a Kimmich and Cruz. That would be my team versus the Scotland team.
so
Remember,
so
Christoph,
so
the
who
Scotland team is
starts out
very
wide?
physical.
So who starts out
Out
wide?
wide, you have the likes of Asane. You have also have Verts, the wizard from Bayer Leverkusen. Those guys are on fire currently. So it's Verts over there on the left hand side, and of course Sane on the right, and then Musiala playing that number 10 role. And of course, the line is led by Kai Havertz dropping in and out, playing that what I would classify as possibly a false nine role, so to speak. In the midfield is a double pivot of Cruz and Kimmich against what I would classify as a physical team from Scotland who should be looking to come and sit deep in front of a vibrant German home crowd in the opening match of the Euros. It should be damage limitations and playing on the counter for the Scottish team. So really, what you want from Germany is their best attacking players on the field from the get-go to get that early goal and unlock the Scottish defense. Of course, Scotland has their own threats, the likes of a Scott McTominay, for example, Andy Robertson from Liverpool, and of course, Che Adams from Southampton. So the Scotland team is not without pedigree and cannot be taken lightly. Neither should Germany take them lightly.
Yeah, I don't think Germany should be taking them lightly. I honestly don't see them sitting back for the entire game and defending it out. I expect them to play with a sort of freedom. Because they will
Ah,
expect to put. I think they'll play with more freedom than one is expecting. They will want to potentially make it out of this group. I mean, they probably don't think they can win the tournament, but they will definitely want to make it out of the group.
yeah,
I think
definitely. They always give a good account of themselves whenever they do make it to a tournament. So, I mean, I'm not expecting Germany to blow this team away. I do expect Germany to go out and get a win, but I believe it will be a closely fought game with Germany just coming out victors because of the extra bits and pieces of pedigree that they have over the Scottish team. But for sure, Scotland is going to come with a game plan. They would be studying tapes and really planning for this Germany team. I mean, if they could even get the first goal, it would put such tremendous pressure on this Germany team who have not been performing well over the last couple of tournaments. They did get a few good results leading up into this Euros, Christoph. Of course, they were hosts, so they did not have to go through the qualifying uh, rigors. However, in terms of some good friendly results which they've had, they've beaten, I can recall they've beaten, I believe, Holland, and they have also beaten France.
they'll be
So
in
if you're
France.
if you're beating these top teams who are favorites for these tournaments, then it does say something about the quality that you possess within the team. It's just a matter of unlocking that quality and remaining consistent. But by no means do I expect Germany to blow the Scotland team away. I believe Scotland will give a good account of themselves. However, I will expect Germany to win and get their Euros off to a 3-point start.
My concern for Germany, for this opening game is that last couple of opening games we've seen at the World Cups and Euros, they have been kind of boring affairs, not very high
Yeah,
scoring.
definitely. Which is why I say the results of the last couple of tournaments have been shocking, in all honesty. So I expect that to be turned around, however. It's a new generation of players. There are fresh faces. There are young, hungry players. The old guard have been phased out. I believe possibly Cruz and Muller are the two remaining pillars of that old guard, that winning team which battered Brazil, if you can recall, in that semi-final, and then pegged Argentina back, denying Messi his first hold on the World Cup. Neuer is there, but as I mentioned, subpar season, subpar performance, and it's really time for him to phase himself out as well. Testergen is the man, and I would be very shocked if he is not between the sticks. Of those three players, Christoph, the only one I expect to play any significant role in this game would be Cruz, playing a deep playmaker role and playing also a destroyer role when Germany is out of possession. He has been having a tremendous season for Real Madrid, and I expect that to continue in this Euros. He is also a specialist at delivering those dead ball. So with the likes of a full Kurg on the bench, who should see some game time in the second half and trying to benefit from those corners and free kicks which Cruz might be delivering in that Scottish penalty box. So it's a well-balanced German team. They're playing at home in front of their home fans, so they should be extra motivated. But in terms of a scoreline, Christoph, for me, I'm calling this one 2-0 for Germany. What's your predicted scoreline?
Uh, I would say 2-1 Germany.
2-1 Germany. Well, I can't disagree with that. Definitely Germany to take all 3 points. But Christoph, quickly, any final thoughts on this opening weekend of the Euros? And in terms of the groups, any final thoughts on those selections?
Definitely looking forward to the start of the Euros. The Premier League has ended, club football has ended. So looking forward to some football and then, the Copa also coming up on the following week. Should be an interesting weekend and it will be an interesting start to the tournament, Germany versus Scotland. But
Definitely.
it does have the potential, the tournament and the groups have the potential to mix up a number of games. We could be seeing, there are at least, 3 or 4 games I can think of that are potential upsets for this tournament. As for the third place teams that will go through, I'm thinking maybe Croatia, third place team, and perhaps. Well, we had said you had said you think Denmark will not make it out of the group or won't make it first and second, so potentially a third place team there as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, thanks again, Krista, for coming on board and really sharing your thoughts on this edition of the Euros. Definitely, you'll be back to give your insight going forward. Viewers and subscribers, thank you again for tuning in to us here on Beating the Press podcast. We'll be having much more European action, predictions, and breakdowns coming up. But until next time, this is Rafa signing off.